The shameful career of one of Roblox's most bizarre, elusive, and disgusting YouTubers may finally be coming.
I turned on the news and it said that I was
the Roblox commentary and drama YouTuber who also went by the name Scrimzox, Natigska and Nattie Forsyth.
Right after I released my video, Nat would catch wind of it and drop a comment saying that there's nothing solid to the story, that they'd be exploring their options, and that they'd be dropping their own response videos saying that mine is a joke.
Lanza and Sin Society, you guys think Nattie's a pedo?
I think that's a yes.
I think he's a freak, and I think
Definitely a fucking freak, yeah.
Like, listen, it wouldn't be surprising if shit came out in the future, like, actual, like, pedo shit, let me put it that way.
Nattie Forsyth moment, guys. All I did was say I don't believe my own evidence to be
actual pedo shit.
Even though I called it
actual pedo shit.
What, are you retarded?
Some of these allegations have even resulted the police showing up to his house and destroying some of his hard drives because they contained illegal material on them.
What, are you retarded?
What do we think about the infamous Nattie Forsyth?
Oh, I love Natalie.
I'm taking away a British card.
Okay,
Kick her out of the UK.
I'm still chill with Natalie. Like, she hasn't done nothing to me, so.
I would have had a negative opinion of her, but she said that she could snap me on half on Twitter, and that made me feel butterflies, so I'm actually pro Nattie.
In this video, I'll be covering various topics, addressing both callouts as well as outright slander me and others have been subjected to for over the past 5 years. This has resulted in swattings. I've found people are being peer pressured and even blackmailed inside their friend groups over association with me, even if they haven't been associated with me for over a year in some cases, and credible threats made to the point of people in real life stalking me, adding me to Discord group chats, and then letting me know what it is I bought at a store, for example, along with threats of multiple forms of assault towards me and my then 15-year-old sibling, along with what school they attend. Things like this have led to quite a lot of people talking to me either over an alt account or directly just on the phone, because there are either people who have came to me numerous times over the years and have asked me about this stuff countless times, so they already have a response and are happy with it, or it's people being charitable towards me despite not knowing for sure but still wanting to talk to me. The vast majority of what I'll be discussing is stuff I've already spoke about numerous times, in numerous videos, across numerous podcasts, across numerous streams. The vast majority of it spans nearly half a decade ago, however the channel these responses were hosted on is gone, so I'll be covering those same things again unaltered, as the reception for those videos was fine, and I have nothing else to add to those. The reason why a lot of this has already been covered multiple times is because when I respond, the given response would be decently received. It would even then die down after about a week, for the most part, but then a year later, for example, the same creator in some cases will then make the same exact video again with no new information, just because they're aware that bringing it up again will have new people see it. And because it was brought up so much later on, those new people ended up not knowing I'd already responded to it and demanded a response. For the most part, I was doing fine for years and kept making videos and never had a problem addressing anything if I was asked about it. But as time went on, the target moved away from just being me to people I talk to and people I care about, having their personal information made public, with me hearing almost daily that their own circles began ruining their mental health over continued support for me, or because they spoke to me once at some point and they are now marked for death apparently. For the majority of 2023, I hadn't been uploading very much whatsoever, and this stemmed from lack of motivation, mostly in part due to all this stuff and because I figured out it wasn't worth the trade-off with the amount of shit this was causing people. People were burning off bridges with people they cared about for me because they were going off of what they believed was right, and their circles, or at least key members of those circles, weren't having any of it. As some of these people go back to, in a lot of cases, being people who I've known for a lot of years and who have hated me for many years, with their mind already being made up. This is to the point where they will lie through their teeth and give what I'm now seeing to be wild statements accompanied with no evidence whatsoever, leveraging their reputation as a trust me bro because they're aware of how low mine is to some people, to the point where if you told them I carried out the Holocaust, they probably wouldn't doubt you. Namely, I'm talking about GreenLegoCats 123, who, like a religious person, absolutely refuses to ever upload in higher quality than 720p at 30 FPS, and is allergic to including evidence in videos about me. Schlep, whose profile picture has an extra set of eyeballs as his eyebrows. Lanza, who during his spare time commissions realistic cat cock to be drawn on his furry avatar, was also allegedly liking tweets of other creators' cats in the community. Gwamgo, who threatened me with a video for 4 days straight before I encouraged him to make it, he then backed out of it in front of everyone in Parlo's server because he was concerned about legal repercussions. He then decided to, in a bold twist of events after coming to me about my stuff, stream CP to his channel, try to blame his co-host for what it was on his screen, rather than take accountability himself whatsoever. The context was he was exposing someone else for having posted CP, but when he posted it, he decided it was no longer CP because he posted it. He then decided to team up with somebody called ThatBoredGamer, who has included me in videos. Sadly, he's wiped all of it because he's also posted CP. Again, whilst trying to call someone else out for it. Also changed his mind about it being CP when he posted it, but then posted that same CP an extra 4 times across various archives of his document defending it. And they're now both teaming up against Parlo, who they argue is actually Space Hitler because he talked to me. I actually joined Parlo's Discord recently, and me joining was actually a huge deal for the CP warriors here. They even tried incriminating Parlo for saying, "I want to wait for Nat's video before saying anything." I had hoped by removing my channel, as the channel I was on before this is now gone, and has been gone for about 7 months. I thought by doing that and all related socials, it would make it stop, at least for other people, but it didn't. I've been speaking with a handful of people over these past few months, with many of them being who convinced me to come back, but it didn't slow down for a good 4 months after I had been gone, with these people continuously getting harassment for having spoke to me at some point. And although now it's slowed down, it still hasn't stopped 7 months later. So at this point I don't really care, and I see it makes no difference. I still have no real interest in YouTube like I once did, but I do have plans for a few other videos over than this as of now, but I doubt I can promise consistency. I'm not looking to really pursue YouTube anymore, and I'll more so be posting whenever I feel like uploading. I do want to do longer projects though moving forward, and while this video has been delayed a few times because I've had to wait for other people's videos to come out in order to respond to them, I've been partially working on other videos too during that time. It's evident those going to the extremes have no plan on stopping regarding any of this, so I felt like coming back just to be annoying if anything. This video, if anything, is just to save myself a ton of time whenever a person I actually care about asks about something, because this video will be in sections and will be covering what I believe to be everything.
Choose your character.
Chase good love in a simple way, and if you need to know what odds to stand in, you just fit in with. Don't you know? Oh!
My previous channel, which was still up just over 7 months ago, was named Nattie Forsyth. I had a channel before this one as well, known as Nathorix. I lost access to this channel due to a 2-step verification flaw, because back then YouTube allowed you to configure your 2-step verification in such a way that it relied on you being logged into your phone, and if for any reason you got signed out of your phone, it would continue to ask you to verify future logins on your phone, even ones on your phone. You would get asked to verify it on your phone when trying to log in on your phone. It was fucking stupid, so I couldn't actually get back in, and YouTube wouldn't help me. So I ended up having to make the channel called Scrimzox, which had a clown persona. I even made a video announcing this name change and saying verbatim that I was Nathorix. I did this with every name change actually. I purposefully linked each name together and made constant references and jokes along with my community in regards to previous aliases. Yet there's some that claim name changes were an attempt to pretend I'm not me and to avoid allegations or something, which I really didn't understand, because I'd be actively discussing things under each name with videos announcing name changes. I eventually ended up changing my name on this second channel to Natigska.
What a fucking name.
The reason why I also covered in a whole dedicated video explaining and announcing them. The big reason being because I had been out as transgender for some time, and the name Scrimzox and its clown persona was known widely as a guy. As well as this, I had started going by Nat in real life. Despite the overall feedback on the video being positive pretty much immediately, I also lost 3k subs within a week or so. Something I and others realized and brought up in private was there were various creators, influencers, and community members who either didn't give a shit about anything to do with me, or were even friendly with me, but who after seeing the coming out video then saw me as Space Hitler. I'm assuming due to fear mongering about trans people, and it seemed like it was even confirmation for some people. But yeah, it essentially made everything 20 times worse, and it was after this, for whatever reason, I decided to just drop having a username and go by name, which was already public. I've now resurrected and respawned and decided to pick a new name that again looks like a slur of some kind.
You're only capable to react, and that's pretty much all that you can manage. Never mind. You can also witch hunt. You're a notorious cunt, doing all of this for a publicity stunt.
I have made it widely known that my channel was going to be deleted about a week before it was, and for pretty much the whole year, close friends will know I was throwing the idea around of quitting quite a lot for many months, but luckily GreenLegoCats in his video on me, full of heavily researched evidence, where he tries to claim I deleted my channel because of what he had in this video on me.
The Nattie Forsyth YouTube channel was deleted and it appears to be done by Nathorix himself, so what happened? Well, I'm not 100%, but I have an idea, and I think it's because Nathorix found out I'm making a video on him with new information.
Just before I did remove the channel, I received a message from the creator Amos coming to me about allegations of ASMR, which was really confusing to me. He was being extremely conspicuous about this as to who it was coming from and what the source was, but eventually did tell me it was GreenLegoCats, and I worked out that if this were genuine, that means that GreenLegoCats would have sat on this information for nearly half a decade before now coming out of it. Meanwhile, all the time GreenLegoCats have been signal boosting me on Twitter and YouTube, especially during the Xonnek drama, and even collaborating with me on projects at times, all while supposedly thinking I'm a predator with this secret top information he's now only just revealing. But yeah, he says that this video is why my channel was deleted. It's whatever helps him sleep at night, I suppose. The screenshots that were sent by Amos only shown a bit of what were in his video, which was released only after my channel was actually deleted though, of course, so he knew I couldn't respond to it. In the screenshots, it was things along the lines of ASMR being mentioned, and it was even referred to me as the ASMR drama, which confused me even more. Like I said, ASMR is a thing on YouTube where people make relaxing sounds. It was apparently that I had bought ASMR from someone, which again, it's free. I came to the conclusion that this had to be fake because it just made no fucking sense to me whatsoever. And I was about to quit YouTube anyway, as I had no real motivation for it. I didn't really care about this little thing coming up that I couldn't make sense of. I had already wasted too much time on it. I had already messaged so many people trying to ask for information that might know something about it, but nobody would tell me anything, so I especially didn't care as much. I expected though, when watching GreenLegoCats' video about the topic, that it would have mentioned something that would help me understand the situation more and not less, but he starts off the video with claiming that a message from the Nathorix account saying Epic Games, which is the company that made Fortnite, ass reveal. And this is the evidence given that I had asked someone for an ass pic from this person. It's just Epic Games ass reveal, which I have to agree is some pretty hard evidence if you ask me.
First off, he requested that the 14-year-old girl send him a reveal picture of herself, which he quickly deleted.
GreenLegoCats then said that in relation to buying ASMR from this person, I had said I would pay for this ASMR. I was also shown this by Amos, and I asked multiple times if there was ever a PayPal transaction screenshot or something, and shockingly there's not. GreenLegoCats also alleged that I had moaned to this person doing ASMR on the call, while supposedly all these large creators sat there and didn't say anything whatsoever. He then says he lost the recorded audio he says he has to prove this, but he luckily has a screenshot of the audio wave for some reason.
Eventually, she did do the ASMR in the server's voice chat, and Nat was one of the people listening to it. During the ASMR, somebody randomly moaned, and it sounded like they were pleasuring themselves to it, as there was nobody talking other than the girl. This was acknowledged after the ASMR session ended, with that 14-year-old girl making a comment on it thinking it was someone else. It was only later realized that it was, in fact, clearly Nat who was moaning after people began circulating a recording of it. I have heard the clip many times, and I strongly believe Nat was legitimately pleasuring himself to this ASMR of someone he knew was 14. Unfortunately, throughout the years, this audio file had been lost, and I've searched hard for it, but I can't find it, nor can anyone else.
That's nothing to bring to the table, GreenLegoCats. I don't know what the fuck you mean by that. Look at these squiggly lines. It looks like a few seconds of someone maybe doing a warrior scream, if I had to guess. Is it like Gwamgo's father learned he broadcasted CP and defended it, and then yelled at him, and that's the audio wave? It's not evidence of fuck all, but people were more than satisfied with this because it's GreenLegoCats claiming it.
No, god damn it!
In fact, Ruben Sim, the guy in the Roblox community that goes after pedophiles, was the first YouTuber to ever publicly defend me on any of this. But when GreenLegoCats released this video, he put out a tweet replying to someone saying that due to the GreenLegoCats video, he rekindles all support for me. So I decided to look deeper and got in contact with the person who actually recorded that audio, who is legobloxian, a old YouTuber that was in the community but quit a few years ago. GreenLegoCats knows who this person is, and he was a large YouTuber back in the day. He possibly plans to return soon. After talking with him, I learned that the audio in question had absolutely nothing to do with me, but Lego did have screenshots to verify and clear some things up for me as to who the supposed victim was. When Lego mentioned the name Christy, I did remember someone by the name of the Laughing Unicorn who hasn't been active on YouTube for over a year and hasn't been on Twitter for 2 years. And GreenLegoCats says that in his video he has sat on this for years because he's only just now got permission to talk about it, which I don't know, he might have got permission to talk about it. I'm not sure how, because it seems that this person's gone from the internet. The screenshots legobloxian show me go against the claims made in GreenLegoCats video, and one is even Christy wanting it to be deleted. As Lego tells me, it was a clip of her doing a weird whisper. It has nothing to do with me, which I guess is where the claim of it being ASMR came from, because whispering can be a part of ASMR, and I ended up agreeing and remembering something about some whisper that she did in the chat, though there are DMs with Christy with him verifying it was him that recorded it and his involvement to the situation. So I'm being told by the person who recorded it wasn't me. And GreenLegoCats also lied about a few more screenshots where I'm wearing a blue Hollister hoodie, one with the jailbreak money bag over my head, and the other screenshot involving ObliviousHD merch. He's the person that made the Last Guest series, and he's someone that's made a lot of other really high effort animation series in the community, and he gave me the plushie of the Last Guest for free to promote it, which I was doing on streams. And I'd say with this stunt I probably promoted it the best way possible. Sadly, GreenLegoCats here is something against ObliviousHD merch, it seems, because he censored it and then lied about what it was. He says it was a sock and made out that I was like nutting into a sock. He censors the entire bottom half of the image, but it's okay. GreenLegoCats would never blur something because he knows it isn't what he said it is. So I can only assume he just dislikes the Last Guest for some reason. He even claims that that was a screenshot from a video I sent, but these are all actually just screenshots separately, screenshots taken that I wanted taking because they were funny. How he lost the alleged audio and the alleged video surrounding these screenshots, I don't know. Luckily, GreenLegoCats never needed proof of anything in his career because he's had a cult following for many years, despite having lied about various topics brazenly for years about various people. He's also one that seemed to really jump ship again when I came out as trans and changed my name to Natigska. I'm not saying he's transphobic or anything, but I don't put it past him that he probably doesn't wipe his own ass because he thinks it's gay if he touches it.
All of these bigots laugh at me. They think I'm such a fucking freak, but maybe I am meant to be. Without my cock I feel so free. I wish these idiots could see how much I love the HRT. Seconds away from HIV, seconds away from a court plea. All cause the bitch was just 14. Are all these SWAT teams just for me?
To begin things off, when discussing these situations over the years, it's sometimes been the case of people taking elements from one situation and combining with from the other situation on purpose, or because it's what they were told by another YouTuber happened, but these were two separate situations. And regarding these, it ended up in people filing police reports. I ended up being questioned by officers, had my stuff taken and investigated thoroughly for about 8 months before I could get that laptop or phone back, and I had to give passwords to accounts, etc. to confirm my side of things.
So you get something to look at while you're talking to him.
You have to ask me to turn that off, please. I'm Detective Stuckman. This is Detective Walker. We're here to ask you some questions.
I was cleared over this, with the document even being shown in Lanza's own video on me, which he was again shocked got blocked for defamation. I literally just referenced the documents inside your own video to get it blocked, you absolute fucking dummy. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw the document in the video by mistake whilst editing and multitasking, commissioning realistic cocks for his furry avatar again, on Rule 34 while shooting the same name he does on YouTube, with comments pointing out the bravery of him going under the same name. as this is something I'd say is extremely old and also beat to death, and because I got cleared on it, I won't be spending too much time on it, but Crazy and Sinny are two people I'd spoke to around 2018 and 2019. Crazy being the first, and then I'll talk about Sinny. So I was in a group chat for a long time which was intentionally edgy and intentionally explicit, and one day a new person was added to it. I didn't do my due diligence as I should have, and assumed the person who added them to such a group chat would have age verified for obvious reasons. But none of that happened, and the group chat continued as it always did, with out-of-pocket jokes and explicit memes such as Thanos spreading his cheeks to reveal his Infinity Gauntlet. Wild group. This ended up going into a voice chat where people continued making explicit jokes and references, including the person who was added to the group, and I joined in to have people laugh, and also because I was a dumb teenager. Randomly, the person who added her gave the Snapchat of the girl to everyone in the call, and then she joined the call. This girl who got added said something sexual again for the umpteenth time, trying to be funny, and a member of the group typed in the chat something along the lines of, "K, I thought you were 15. And another said, "Lol, K, I thought you were 16. And I had made another comment similar to it, assuming it was another shock value joke or something adding up to a joke. And this screenshot of "K, I thought you were 14" then got cherry picked with any of messages not being included. And it was when I said this, they said yes. All but two then left the voice chat, and I didn't know what to really do or say, but after asking a few times if they were being serious or fucking around, the others along with the supposed girl joined back and lowered the age to 12 with some laughing. What had been said was weird and cringe flirting, only being about half serious, as my main goal was to crack jokes as everyone else seemingly was. Again, it was fairly edgy. The only imagery that was sent or received with this person was a naked picture of Shrek, which was over Snapchat, and in the group chat a member had posted Thanos' chocolate starfish. A lot of the worst stuff was further in the chat. She had been in the group chat for about an hour though, and it was like, you had to scroll up more. But from what I could gather, that's what she had been exposed to, like, image-wise. But what people will do is take things from Sinny and claim it was sent to this person because it just sounds better to say. Because with Sinny, we did actually sext. The craze thing I just responded to normally. I didn't make too much of a deal about it, despite others trying to, as I know what happened. Though it will be later that I met Sinny, who was someone a lot of people never cared about whatsoever, due to the age gap, but I'll still cover it regardless. As I mentioned previously, some people will combine elements of these situations on purpose, either on purpose maliciously or because it's a YouTuber that put it in their head. As far as I know now though, craze has gone from the internet. Sinny is someone I met when I had just turned 19 and she was turning 17 in a week, so it was a 2-year age gap, hence nobody really caring about it for the most part, apart from American Twitter users who also believe 17 and 18 to be pedophilia, as those are the kind of people Sinny ended up going to see me when I stopped talking to her. Sinny was someone who was mentally ill and would self-harm on video in front of me with threats of suicide if I stopped speaking to her. I don't mention this because I need to at all justify having spoken to her, saying I was trapped. I bring it up because it's true and she was fucking crazy. It's not to justify anything because we could both legally have sex in the country we were in, and it was also a 2-year age gap, though everything remained long distance and mostly one-sided. She had ended up sending me a clothed ass pic in a Nathorix t-shirt and fishnets, which was seemingly out of nowhere. She'd keep pushing and cutting, and I ended up having to reach out to people asking what it is I should do, as although not legally culpable if it happened, I didn't want to feel responsible for someone's death, when if I had just kept speaking to her it wouldn't have happened. I had eventually ended up sending audio as well as nudes back, as it felt pretty one-sided and I didn't know what to feel bad about not sending much stuff back or not. She had me in a bad headspace and she was wrecking my head for a long time and would constantly be manipulative and play mental games with me. The audio I had also sent to this person, Schlep, lied about it having been sent to Craze, the alleged 14-12-year-old. He did this to try and incriminate me publicly, and when I responded to him saying, no, that's bullshit, he didn't even bother to correct himself, left up the tweet saying it was sent to a 12-year-old, and when I told him we were basically the same age, he continued for some reason to try and incriminate me regarding that. It's like he forgot the allegation in that post, just forgot to say anything of value whatsoever. People also lied on a similar situation with the other stuff I sent to Sinny, claiming it was sent to Craze again, either on purpose or because they like Schlep, don't believe in doing research, or having a decent profile picture. On the night, I got some sleep rather than staying up worrying about whether or not she was still alive. I woke up the next day to the RTC, the Roblox Twitter community, up in flames, and specifically remember a KonekoKitten gif from KonekoKitten of someone walking into a burning room with no caption. Pretty much everyone had moved on from the crazed group chat thing, and as generally everyone had seen my responses already, and the occasion where it's actually someone of age was the new hot topic now. It seemed to mostly come from those who were unhappy about the craze thing not being what they thought it was, as opposed to what they actually thought about this situation with Sinny. It wasn't until I was on holiday with my partner where I was in the arcade, and we noticed officers were patrolling and asking questions, like in that scene from Terminator where he's trying to find John Connor in the arcade. The person I'm with says, "Lol, what if they're here for you?" Which we laughed about for a sec, and it turns out that they were actually for me. But about a week prior to this, I was in a fight with 5 people who jumped us at an adult youth club, and I fractured my little finger from hitting someone in the face too many times, whilst I was taking swings from his friends from behind. I say all this because at the time I wasn't sure if I had accidentally killed someone. It was definitely at the back of my mind, as there was 2 people I fucked up more than I meant to, but luckily I was just gonna be investigated for the next 8 months based on something very serious. But I was pretty happy that I didn't kill someone, because at least this I can respond to, whereas responding, you can't make a video responding to a corpse. I was given 3 outcomes during these 8 months, with anyone coming through the door at any point when they got done investigating. Either I'd be asked in for another interview, I'd go to court, or nothing would happen. And after the 8 months I got my stuff back. I got what I refer to as cleared due to insufficient evidence of what people claimed. Some people disagree though because they hate me, so to those people you can't really say anything else, they've already made up their mind. I kind of do believe that was more than enough time to look over 2 instances of online messaging though. I mean, God only knows how long they would have taken if I got accused of stealing a Snickers bar. That's pretty much it for this section though. I still believe to this day the outcome of the investigation is why I am now seeing things come up with absolutely no base to them at all and no evidence, such as in Schlep's video, because there exist people that are that desperate they are willing to lie through their teeth and imagine things.
So let's learn how to tie a noose. It's practical for every use.
So I'm not too sure why this is even a section, but if you know about it, you're likely surprised to hear it's still being thrown around as well. The YouTuber ChloeGames has a Discord server, and in the server a few years ago in 2018 or so was a 8-ball bot which you could ask yes or no questions to. Whilst in the voice chat with Chloe and a few others, we were asking the bot various inappropriate questions and it was saying yes or no. We were laughing. I popped a smooth ass Jimmy Neutron question of, will Chloe's titty fall out in the next Q&A, among various other questions, and generally the vibes were okay and nobody gave a shit. I'd reached out to Chloe to talk about this a few times, and all I really hear is that she doesn't really care about it and wants to move on, and was annoyed people tried blowing it up and making it a thing it wasn't. And I know it doesn't matter because Schlep can just say that she's 12 and people will believe him, but back when I originally addressed this, I did the calculations, and here's an actual screenshot of exactly how old both of us were on that day, just in case anyone cares again.
Ramen! Are you sleeping, you fat fuck? Come on! Stop!
Regarding this, you'll either care a lot or not understand what the fuck the big deal is. Personally, for me, it's been difficult to know exactly how much I should beat myself up over this, as the reactions and opinions on this were so mixed, it seemed, with the situation even being mocked by people. Sleep streams are a thing in the streaming space in which you try to sleep and have your donations set to play loud sounds or songs. Someone blasted Ram Ranch at 3 in the morning and I nearly shit myself from how loud it was. But I also did make £500 in one night. As I'm in the UK, I think it's worth mentioning that UK households are built to be much warmer and stronger than houses in America, for example, that blow away when a strong gust of wind comes near it. Because of this, or for some other reason, you know, various other factors that night, it was fucking boiling that night. And I did the sleep stream, I did it with my partner, I was in boxer shorts. I didn't see a problem with this, especially as it started with me just under the covers chilling in bed, or trying to chill at least, while fucking Ram Ranch blasted down my ear, and down the ears of all of my neighbors, due to people donating with the goal of keeping me awake, or disrupting my sleep. As I was going from being asleep to semi-awake due to the donation sounds, I ended up moving in my sleep out of the covers to the 300 or so people in 2017 or 2018 for a portion of the stream. You can make an outline of my ass. When this originally happened and the stream was done with, I was messaged by 2 or 3 people who showed me this happened, and I was understandably embarrassed, though nobody really seemed to give a shit. It was mostly laughed off, so I pretty much was just like, for fuck's sake, and I wasn't even aware that there were people who didn't know about this in current day because it was a public stream, it was widely discussed, but some people thought I hid this from them, and people like Femyoz, for example, heard about it, and then immediately thought it took place on the day she learned about it. Like, after they realized it wasn't the case, they no longer gave a shit, and it seemed most people who did give a shit didn't either after realizing that. Though there were definitely some people who did care about it, and I had contacts cut over this. It was either nothing to some people, or to some people it was bridge burner material, and it was the final straw that broke the camel's asshole, it seemed. It all ended up with me being added to a call with Parlo and someone who I'm sure has a degree in wordplay manipulation called Elliot, and the two kind of short-circuited somewhere when I mentioned the phrase half asleep, and a mini debate began as to whether or not being half asleep is a real thing, which it scientifically is. I was shocked that this was even questioned, and I was confused as to how it was relevant. I also didn't know how I was being recorded in this situation, hence why I don't jump on him and attack his points, because I didn't know that it was a show. I didn't know we were trying to get points on each other. We were trying to be taking jabs and shit, so I was good faith because I knew this person and I was speaking to them, I believed, about the situation. But yeah, I definitely wish I bullied him now over not knowing what half asleep means.
This situation is indefensible, and the fact that they can't be honest about the fact that it's wrong is just insane. I can't blame anybody who disavows or cuts ties with them at this point. I have to. What? What did they do? Their undies?
You did stream in your underwear to fans that were most likely almost entirely minors, right? Just to fully confirm, you did.
Okay.
Like I've already stated, I believe that Creekcraft would have more minor fans.
No, I know, but you did. Well, I mean, teen is still minors, right?
I've already said a few times that.
No, I know.
Yeah, there'll definitely be kids watching.
You confirm, right? You confirm that you streamed in your underwear to fans that were most likely under the age of 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Why? Why did they do this? Stop. This is fucking grooming. I mean, the problem that the only weird thing to me is all the energy surrounding this is it's just oh, you streamed it to all your underage fans in your underwear. Blah, blah. It's I mean, maybe they wanted them to get aroused, or maybe they did a sleep stream and they're being dumb and irresponsible. I just don't I mean, what is this? The internet police branch? What the fuck is this? This is a link to a full video? There's a full call. Are we gonna deep dive this? This is going crazy. I mean, yeah. What? You know what? We're gonna deep dive.
This is body cam from a call regarding 2 users along with Nattie Forsyth. This is.
What is this framing of this video? So bizarre. These people are wild.
Some of the most damning evidence yet. And this is actually body cam footage from one of our newest rookies, the Internet Police Branch 18.
That's crazy, bro. Frick.
Asleep, so you could have been asleep in that position, unless you weren't asleep.
Okay.
Well, I said half asleep because we were trying to sleep, but also had loud ass nuke sounds going off and just shit like that.
What is it? One of those things where you donate money and then it'll wake you up or something? Is that what it is?
Yeah, but you can't have a middle.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's not inherently wrong or even sexual. Yeah, true. I mean, underwear isn't necessarily. I would say generally is not sexual. That's the thing. I think that the first thought on the internet is to apply sexuality to everything.
Ground, you're either asleep or you're not asleep. That's like saying I'm half a pedophile. That doesn't make sense.
What? Have you never heard the term half asleep? What the fuck's happening?
My boy working there, here go.
If you didn't know, recently Schlep made a video about it and made me sound way fucking cooler than I ever was when I did this. But Roblox has these yearly egg hunts, and one year I found a way into the testing phase of this, as they had no security whatsoever it seemed. As Schlep will tell you in this video, I found the testing group for the events. I saw that the members of the group were new accounts made specifically for testing it, and not people's main accounts. They were all also named very similarly, so I made a new account for myself with a similar name to the others in the group, and requested to join it. They accepted me. I then had access to the testing phase of the full 2019 Egg Hunt with admin commands. I shown a decent amount of this off in video with the lobby, for example, which consisted of exactly 4 black walls with JPEGs of portals all over them, and it was the finished product. The portals being how you were teleported to other games, as they put most of the eggs in other games as opposed to actually making an egg hunt. They kind of just scattered them across various games that existed and had nothing to do with an egg hunt. I showed the lobby and a couple boss fights, and that was the video. Schlep reveals in his video on me that me doing this actually is what led to an inward investigation and the manager of the quality assurance testing at Roblox being fired. And that also because I leaked the egg hunt, they also found out about this Roblox staff member giving regular Roblox users in QA testing other users' personal information, which is a giant privacy concern obviously. So I'm only left concluding that me leaking the egg hunt was a net positive, and that Schlep made it sound a lot cooler than how I remember it.
My boy working there, go.
Schlep in the same video talking about me having leaked the egg hunt includes some very bold-faced claims about me from a person who he brings on the video called DinoNuggets. Now before getting to what DinoNuggets alleged, he first talks briefly about how I came across him on YouTube. He was streaming a game, I think it was Dungeon Quest or something like that, and I knew that this person had watched my content for a bit, knew who I was, and generally thought that he would be happy if I had come into his chat, donated, and he was happy to see that it was a verified account in the chat. I used to gather various other YouTubers to do this and go and find small streamers to donate and appear in the chats, and it would just make them happy. It was nice to see. It encourages them to keep streaming and it makes the day. It's just nice to see people that you know in the community getting donations is nice, or at least I thought so. DinoNuggets goes over how I gave him $100 and tries to do it in the creepiest way possible, like it was some kind of weird manipulation, fucking hocus pocus, mega wumbo grooming by giving money. He doesn't even seem too fucking sure himself as to what the problem was with being donated to.
I was streaming Dungeon Quest, I think. That was like the dungeon game back in 2018, right? I would stream that every day on YouTube, and one of the people that would be in my chat was a moderator for Nathorix's Discord server, and he was close to him. So one day he got Nathan to come in. Nathan donated $100 to me, and then hopped on stream, and then added me on Discord, and that all happened in like 1 hour. And then from there, it was like, in retrospect, terrifying how quickly he was willing to befriend a 13-year-old streamer he had just met hours before. He put me in all of his group chats, he promoted me in his server, and he asked to record a video with me. All in, like, this all happened in like 1 day.
Wait, you were trying to grow on YouTube and a big YouTuber wanted to collaborate with you? What a fucking horror.
The weird shit was always happening, I just didn't realize it until a bit later on. I'm gonna specifically cite the main weird thing that happened to me. I want to preface, because I know that he's probably going to respond to this. I'm not saying that he was attracted to me or that he wanted something from me when he did this, but that doesn't make it any less weird, any less uncomfortable, and any less exposing a 13-year-old to sexual acts, which is still, that's still a pedophilia charge.
Yeah, that's a crime.
One night I was in a call with Nat. Now that I think about it, I believe it was in a group chat, but we were the only ones in the call. And they were like in their like little voice that they had back then. They were like, "What if I like jacked off right now?" And it was just like they just started beating off in the middle of the call and finished without saying any words.
How old was Nat at this time?
I believe Nat was 18 at the youngest, because when I met Nat, it was a very common joke that everyone in the circle would always be like, "Oh, Nat's like such a predator," whatever. And also doing math, just backpedaling, Nat would be around 18 or 19 at the oldest around this time.
If that wasn't disturbing enough, DinoNuggets sent me a tweet on Twitter that Nathan wrote and told me the insane context behind it.
But he ends up making a wild claim that this screenshot, which is something he actually left a like on, which is visible, was in reference to something he knows it wasn't. Like, he lied about what it was. I mean, if it's true, the fact he says that and admits to liking it is insane, but regardless, the context of the screenshot is in reference to Sinny, who was covered earlier in the video.
You should send me the screenshot. It said, Nathan said, "What I did was illegal, not predatory." And you were actually the one who liked this. What was this in context to? Do you remember?
Nathan acquired a video of a 15-year-old girl in his community using a on herself. And this video was not only shown to me through Discord screen share, so I, as a 13-year-old, was shown by an adult, but this video was shared to his entire mod group chat, who shared it to even more people. One of the mods, I believe he submitted a police report with the British police. The FBI came to his house. I remember there was a video that was posted on Twitter, literally him filming agents from his living room as they went through his computer and downloaded his hard drives.
They made him destroy some hard drives though, right?
I was gonna say I believe they did make him destroy it, and because laws in the UK are a lot more lax, I believe that he wasn't taken to court since the defendant would have been from the States and he was in the UK. Legally, that was just such a hard thing to swing. So I believe they just made him delete the hard drives and then moved on.
If you watch that section of the video, you'll know I had just turned 19 and she was turning 17 in a week, meaning it was a 2-year age gap. On Twitter, this was me replying to someone who would call that 2-year age gap predatory, which of course it wasn't. 2 years is an extremely common age gap. I had also been told within the same hour of saying this, that despite us both being 16 and could legally fuck, me and Sinny were both not 18, so the laws regarding sending pictures was different. After seeing this, I just agreed that, oh yeah, shit, looks like it was probably illegal then, but it wasn't predatory. And that's the context behind saying that. Every time, consistently, I've said it was about Sinny, which is how I know DinoNuggets is lying about this. The police investigation concluded that it was neither of these things, but that's what I was referring to, and DinoNuggets is fully aware of this, and this screenshot is something I've addressed time and time again. What Dino claimed that screenshot was in reference to is something that, of course, comes without any evidence, because it didn't happen, but it's just something that was said on Schlep's platform, and it seemed to have been enough for most people to take it at face value and fully believe it. He said it was in reference to me having sent CP of a 15-year-old to my mod chat, which he says he was a part of. Now, that's all what is said. I've asked around a fuck ton, asking as much as I can, and I'm getting nothing in regards to this. Nobody remembers this actually happening, or at least mods and associates who have been around since the Nathorix days, and I still keep close now. Nobody really can make head or tail of what the fuck this claim was about. I can only assume it came to him in a dream of some kind.
My boy look like he made it go.
Okay, I know there's been 3 fucking Schlep sections now in a row, but also in the same video by Schlep, he briefly mentions me having sent something so horrible we can't even mention what it is.
I used to actually know Nathorix back in the day, back when he went by Nathorix 5 years ago, and Nathorix sent me something so beyond graphic that I can't even describe on YouTube. In censored terms, what he sent me was an explicit drawing of a Roblox character with some horrible stuff covering its body. Alongside that image, he sent me the adult site that it was contained on.
But you know it's right?
Oh yeah, I was 17 when I sent that. I was 4 days away from turning 18. You can see it's 11 of 6, 2017. It was 4 days away from 18.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oof. Oof, go f yourself.
I was 14 at the time, and I didn't even understand how bad that was of someone who was practically an adult sending me that. That was something that stayed in my brain for years.
So it's a nice break from the bullshit, but yes, so this is something that was sent to a server that Schlep was in whilst we were in a voice chat. I knew who Schlep was before he was Schlep. At least this is something in the video that actually happened, other than the Egg Hunt leak, of course. We were on a call with a developer, a games developer named Ripple, who was working on a game called Rovive. There was a member that kept getting banned over and over again for cheating in his game Rovive, and this exploiter ended up making R34 of his character. And what this content was an MS Paint's drawing, or on Microsoft Paint, and it was just his Roblox avatar shitting itself. I'm not too sure what else to say, but yes, that was sent to the server because people were talking about it in the voice chat and also screen sharing the content. When the screen share stopped, people were continuing to talk about it, so I had linked it into the chat because various people, including Schlep, had asked to see it. This isn't a big point or anything in Schlep's video, and I think it's because he's fully aware it was fuck all. Or I don't know, maybe it really truly is something horrific to him, and I guess cool. But you don't have to start the video like it's some kind of fucking unknown substance that you can't mention on video. It was poopy.
I used to actually know Nathorix back in the day, back when he went by Nathorix 5 years ago, and Nathorix sent me something so beyond graphic that I can't even describe on YouTube.
So this section is sort of a subsection for the next one, which is directly speaking about this video, which is archived. Yikesy title aside, it's actually an argument against abuse, and it's something that Hunter Avallone made a video on, and I'll be going over it in more detail in a minute. But specifically, I want to go over the claim that I had defended lolicon in someone's chat. So I've been like inactive from accounts for a little bit, and people were saying that basically I was not off the internet and I was still inside this person's chat actually defending lolly. So here's a screenshot saying, I was once told in countries where lolly is legal, actual child abuse is down because they use it as an alternative that is less risky and also more convenient. I don't think it should be public at least. So this is me quoting somebody because I was asked to explain an argument that they were reading between me and lolicons on Twitter because lolicons attacked me for a week straight after calling them pedophiles, and their argument was that it lowers child abuse. The lack of quotation marks in this comment makes it very easy for them to take it out of context, but the main thing that's annoying about this that people just entirely ignored is that messages such as me saying, yes, lolicon is a valid concern because it could encourage their attraction. With lolicon, if you don't know, it's basically just young looking drawn porn. It like deviates from hentai, or it's like Japanese drawing. There's people that argue it's like actually a 2,000-year-old demon, even though it physically looks like a drawing of a kid, but it's not. It's like 2,000 years old or some shit, and they use retarded arguments like that to get away with it. Like it'll be literally crawling around on the floor with a dummy in its mouth, and it's actually 50 years old. But yeah, I was actually there in chat making anti-lolicon arguments, and it was taken as pro-lolicon by bad actors, even though in the stream it was literally embedding these messages that were just entirely ignored. They're not the people I spoke about, they can die. It's basically in reference to the next section, which I actually addressed the whole video. So this is talking about the actual video itself, where basically they were bringing up lolicons, and if those are the people I was talking about in the video, I guess I'll end up like explaining it just together, because it is kind of mashing together now. They were also watching the video in the background as well as reviewing a argument, and this message is in response to the video itself. So the main issue people have with the video itself is just that people saw it and saw the title and basically just soy jack open mouth stared reaction at the title, and it was kind of like a bad optics thing as opposed to anything actually worth worrying about. There would be people who would not watch the video and read the title and freak out and react, or there would be some people that would watch it but wouldn't be intelligent enough to actually understand the argument whatsoever, despite being repeated several times throughout the video. For context, the YouTuber Hunter Avallone made a video about the stigmatization of pedophilia and pedophiles being lumped in with actual child abusers, such as people who actually act on their urges in some way, such as being a lolicon. In Hunter Avallone's video, he cited various studies to back up his arguments, and his main argument was that, not really an argument, just a factual statement that he made. Lumping them together with actual child abusers has them basically demonized by society, and if anyone ever finds out, then they know that their life is pretty much over. Which overwhelmingly statistically leads to people not getting help and ending up becoming actual abusers, and it's no longer just something they're struggling with, it's something they've actually taken action on. Whether again that's like a physical victim or something like viewing lolly, to viewing actual stuff, to, you know.
I will break down my my original take, and then I literally had to delete it because it was being so heavily misunderstood, and I posted a clarifying tweet, which I will then go through in a moment. So my original tweet was simply that if you care about reducing child abuse, then we need to be willing to destigmatize pedophilia. A lot of people have suddenly started screaming, their brains have shut down, no more thinking, it's all out the window, okay? Facts? Fuck them, we're scared, throw all pedophiles in a wood chipper, ha ha ha. I get it, okay? Because when you hear pedophilia, you instantly think of some creep driving around in a fucking van. My original take was, if you want to stop child sexual abuse, then you need to be willing to destigmatize pedophilia. Of course, I also clarified that pedophilia, by definition, is merely the attraction to prepubescent children. Pedophilia is not synonymous with child molestation. In fact, the majority of child molestations are actually committed by non-pedophiles. They're usually committed by sick individuals that genuinely take advantage of power dynamics and exploit vulnerable people. And it's usually child molesters that will abuse kids, they'll abuse boys, girls, and even adults if they can. It's about exploiting the vulnerable for those people. But then on the other side of things, you have pedophiles. Now, right now, the research is very inconclusive about how people become pedophiles, whether it's because they were victimized, whether they were born like that. But one thing seems to be pretty well understood, which is, unfortunately, pedophiles cannot just hit a switch and stop being a pedophile. Two options for this person. One, they abuse a child and act on those dangerous and immoral attractions, okay? Or two, they seek help and get therapy where they are able to be put on medication that reduces libido, where they are able to go through therapy, which has already been done in Germany, for example, and they've found very positive results. Destigmatized, I recognize how that word can sound kind of yikesy, and so that's ultimately what led to the deletion of my first tweet, where I posted something clarifying. I will now go through my tweet here and then explain why I am being canceled for being against child abuse, while all the people trying to cancel me are, whether they are intentionally or not, adding and contributing to more child rape. Yes, I know. I said, I've deleted my controversial pedo tweet due to the misunderstanding of the word destigmatize. I only meant the stigma needs to be reduced to the point of making it easier for pedophiles who haven't harmed kids to seek therapy without fear of total retribution. Now, this is true. Right now, the way the intense stigma is around pedophiles, it deters people who have not harmed kids from seeking therapy and getting actual fucking help for these dangerous and immoral attractions. And you know what? When you don't get help, that makes it more likely that they will hurt somebody, that they will offend. If a pedophile is suffering and they are upset by the fact that they have these attractions, and then they are treated like an outcast even though they've never harmed a child, when they are isolated and they feel as though they have nothing left to lose, that raises the likelihood that they will harm somebody. That is the truth of the matter, okay? So just to be crystal fucking clear, I am not advocating for normalizing pedophilia. Pedophilia is wrong, bad, dangerous, and it puts children at risk, which is all the more reason why we should be willing to talk about preventative measures for pedophiles who have these attractions but have not yet acted on them. This really is not that fucking complicated.
That was the argument of the video, that factually it increases child abuse to not differentiate the two. And the whole destigmatization was not arguing for there to be no stigma whatsoever. Some people got that idea as well. Even though there was like a pinned comment and the title was changed to read pinned comment, the vast majority of people actually did get it. It's just that the people who didn't were very vocal about it, and it just caused too much trouble, so the video was taken down. I did have two debates up about it, one with Jalen, who basically conceded once she understood what my argument actually was, and then I had another kind of like 2v4 or 2v5 with me and Bunk, where we debated a few people regarding the video in a follow-up video after the one with Jalen, and all of those people also conceded in the debate as well, after again actually understanding what the argument was. The only reason it seems that most people misunderstood the video is people saw the title, took screenshots, and simply went to Twitter about it. So people had already made their mind up about what the video was without actually viewing any of the video. And like I said, it's still up if you want to go and watch it. I actually stand by it entirely. You can listen to the argument made several times throughout the video. Ultimately, should this video have been made? Fuck no, because it was obviously not the right move to make, even though I thought I was doing a net positive with the video. Because immediately after finding that information out, I thought it was important to try and make some kind of video. I had multiple YouTube content creators come to me in private saying that they fully agree with the video's argument and are behind it in its entirety, but they're too scared to talk about that publicly and show support for the video publicly because of people misunderstanding what the fuck the argument was. So yes, I'm aware that it was not worth it to do, especially someone with allegations talking about that stuff, and it just seems very yikesy, I understand. But again, I'm literally not apologizing for being right, like, fuck you. You can misunderstand the video, but if I literally explain it and you still ignore it, I don't really care.
Oh, fuck, shit, bitch, damn cocksucker, pussy, asshole, cunt, motherfucking dirty whore, shat onto my lunch.
So again, this is just something that I'll be talking about and not offering any real, like, stipulation over. It's something that I've covered continuously and just said, yeah, it's something I fucked up on. Despite having people come to me and claim I've said that I've done nothing wrong in this situation before, but I've never said that. Again, around in 2018, there was a time where I posted Go, and I'll roll it getting clipped in a minute so you can see the actual incident. This is just one of those things I've never really had any rebuttals for, and have always just said I fucked up. I was added to a YouTube content creator Discord, and I wasn't sure how I got there or why I was there, and it was during the time I had been super desensitized to Go. From a young age on the internet, I basically had circles of older people who would show me this to the point of me seeing it no different than video game gore that was very realistic video game gore at that. Despite being real gore, I didn't see it as any real concern or anything like that. I was able to differentiate gore on the screen to seeing gore in real life. Though at that point, I probably wouldn't have even cared if I saw gore in real life either. I ended up seeing it as edgy shock humor, and it seemed to be the most effective form of shock humor.
This server was purely made for beef between me and this other streamer. I'll call him Josh. He was this like 13, 14-year-old streamer who was causing a lot of issues in my community. This server was made specifically for all of us to just talk to this guy and be like, what are you doing? Like, why are you acting like this? It goes back and forth for a while. Nothing really, it's kind of getting somewhere. The kids kind of understanding. And then eventually this 13, 14-year-old adds Nathorix into the server.
I know it's fucking rich for me to say, but I was added to the server because it was made for this then person in their 20s to beef with a 14-year-old. Okay, well now I know that I didn't before watching Schlep's video.
I think when they got added, the conflict was kind of sorted. At least we weren't arguing. It was kind of just a call to just chill for like 5-10 minutes before everyone would just go their separate ways.
Ah shit, then sorry for ruining that. My bad.
And Nathorix tells people to look at the general chat of the server to see something cool. I forget exactly what they said.
Can I post a cool video to the chat? I'm gonna post a cool video in the chat, guys. You should watch it.
And we go look. It wasn't censored or anything with the spoiler thing. And you press play, and it's just a cock being in a sewing machine.
Yeah, we're just.
I don't know if that's
It's not my taste.
I don't know. I mean, I do know there's 13-year-olds in here and younger.
I mean, if it's younger, then you should ban them, and you're gonna get banned if you keep them in the server, so.
I mean, it's not my sub.
Who deleted my copy? Yeah, just to clarify, I'd like to retract from the record that I believe the video was cool. It goes without saying that my knee-jerk, panicked response of, oh well, you should have just been following Discord's terms of service, when Jackeryz mentioned there could have been minors in the server. It was a shitty response, and I'm not even too sure why I said it myself. Other than I guess I felt I needed to say something back. It wasn't until about 2 months after the incident did someone actually sit down with me and talk to me about it, and explain to me how badly seeing gore randomly can affect other people. As to me, again, it was something I had been entirely desensitized to inside of degenerate circles. I also years later discovered that Carl Jacobs was actually in the voice channel as well, which pretty much guarantees that I'm never going to be a Dream SMP member. Some would currently argue that I'd be a perfect candidate for the Dream SMP though, as I'd probably fit right in with my allegations.
Yeah, I'm a fanboy, not really like them, boy. Hair always a mess, boy. Look good in a dress, boy. I'm that cute type, that kawaii rude type, feeding off your jealousy. It's fanboy supremacy. I'm a fanboy.
What you doing there, Bill? Satellite dish trouble?
No, I'm just up here to kill myself.
Homotopia, yes, the section is called Homotopia because it was the name of a Discord server. No, I'm not joking. No, I'm not joking. The Roblox YouTuber Parlo basically was gone for a bit, and during that time, he had made a NSFW Twitter account where he would post thirst traps, and he'd have many men. Conservative, straight conservative married men, flooding his replies, basically thirsting over him. He would have pictures where he'd lift his shirt, wear like thigh highs, and it was a very sexually charged account to say the least. It wasn't NSFW like nudity, but it was extremely suggestive, and it basically cultivated a community of such. It was then that Parlo basically had this server called Homotopia, and he describes it as a hangout server, and it was linked to this following on this other account, which in turn had people join the server who was sexually charged. Although Parlo's intentions with the actual Discord server weren't the same kind of stuff that he would post on Twitter, it seemed. When I was added to this, I was given no real introduction whatsoever. I wasn't shown around, I wasn't like told what the server's purpose even was for. I was just kind of added to it. I saw the invite, joined, spoke to Parlo, and that was pretty much it. I ended up basically noticing a couple people with their profiles, they had their age stated in their profiles to be under 18. So I was showing this to Parlo, I would come to Parlo with this, I ended up asking for admin so I could help moderate the server because I didn't want Parlo getting in trouble for anything like this. So I would basically be banning people who would post stuff who looked like they shouldn't be there, basically banning anyone who maybe didn't even type but just had it in their profile. The server, again, I wouldn't say was like pornographic, but it was NSFW in nature to the point of it being a sexually charged environment, and you definitely get the vibe when you entered the server. It wasn't tons and tons of people, but it was enough people basically breaking the rules, it seemed, to give that impression if you just join the server at the right time and see the messages in the chat. I was also not very active in the server whatsoever, and nor was Parlo himself. He actually made a video responding to all this, and I had a part in his video where I'm basically saying exactly what I'm saying now, and Parlo had no objections to what it is I was saying. Pretty much the only time I mentioned in the video is when they say, here's Nat's part. So why is it that this became a problem? Well, basically people on the server are posting workout progress pictures, and the age ranges basically went from 16, well, basically the rules, it said that you could be 15 to join the server, and it turned out that basically from Parlo's Twitter, there were like 45-year-old guys in the server as well. And the official rule was 15 plus, because one moderator was 15 rather than 16, and Parlo changed that so they could be moderator. I don't say that to incriminate anyone, that's just why it was. I at the time had also been working out, and basically I posted, and this isn't even the most sexual image in the server, because it's not even considered sexual by some people. By others it is, but in the context of people posting abdominal progress pics and stuff, it wasn't, and the actual most explicit thing posted to the server, it was found, was a picture of Garfield and an anime girl, with the anime girl bending over in front of Garfield and like, the top of her ass crack was just visible. That's not even me saying that, that's just everyone's conclusion that that was the most explicit thing posted to the server. I basically posted a tummy picture, and first of all, if you think that this is like a massive problem to have posted, I agree, I shouldn't have posted it, but that's with the knowledge of what the rules were. I didn't read the rules and I posted this. And this mega stalker, basically doxer that's been stalking us for a long time, called XDGamer, was actually in the server, and when this happened, put screenshots out of that, put extra screenshots of what people were posting, such as their workout pictures, but would censor it overly on purpose to claim there were nudes, and there wasn't, for example. This is all Parlo's side of thing, Parlo's defense for that, because it's his server. And to my knowledge, I've watched various responses on this, he's cleared that, and it was bullshit. It was all safe for work, but just suggestive, slightly. With, again, the most explicit picture posted to the server being Garfield. And I mean, it was actually GreenLegoCats that featured this in his video, and it was featured in a bunch of other videos too, but GreenLegoCats sees it as such a problem that this actually isn't me overlaying the picture on the video. He's actually just complained about me showing this to like maybe 100 max people, whereas he's featured the same exact picture in his video, which he's calling me out for showing people. He's shown it to 100,000 people. But not just this, he's shown it to 200,000 people, because in the video surrounding this, it's basically he made a video on me, then the next video was also a video on me. I'm not sure what the order is, but right now, as I'm recording this, is one that's entirely still uncensored, and the other one only got censored when it hit 100,000 views. So he went in YouTube Studio to edit this. Anyone who's a YouTuber, by looking at the way the blur comes up, you'll be able to see it was with YouTube Studio. I've also got people who can vouch if I need them to regarding it not being censored for the first 100k views. And the other one just isn't censored, it's still not, so maybe you should make a video on yourself, GreenLegoCats, for showing it to fucking 200,000 people. I mean, either you're like way worse than me in this situation, and I'm not even saying that as a joke, you will literally be worse than me in this situation by definition, because you've shown it to way more people than me, or you just don't believe it's as bad as you claim it is in your video, and you're just playing up how much you give a shit because you want views. When this account had posted screenshots of this stuff, one of the screenshots in his tweet was the rules page. And this was when I saw the rules page, and I was in voice chat with Parlo, I saw the rules page, and then immediately freaked out at Parlo. I screamed at him in the voice chat, saying like, dude, what the fuck, like, you're gonna get in so much shit, like, why is that the rule, like, did someone else post that as the rule? who came up with these rules, and he told me it was a hangout server that basically had just been taken over. Like, the asylum patients were running the asylum, it seemed. This situation's like the only one that's recent. Well, that's not true. I mean, the other ones are recent too, but they're not actually real. This is the only one that's recent that happened, which you'll probably have an easier time believing because this one actually has something to go with the claim, as opposed to an elusive audio moan that got lost to time, a video that got lost to time, and also another video that got lost to time. I don't give a shit. Fuck you, that's the video.
Jelly beans and nicotine are streaming through my grandma's spleen, and I just stubbed my toe. Stumbling through the pages of a Webster's earns me wages. There's so many words to go. Tickle my bum with a mannequin thumb and a bongo drum in California.
In conclusion, this video was made again, as I stated at the start of this video, for my own benefit. And I hope for the benefit of those being harassed and attacked constantly, because I obviously don't expect this to change anyone's mind regarding me, because I don't really care. Because I am literally used to it at this point. I have no hope. But I really would like for other people to be left alone. If it needs to be me, then it can be me. But it is quite fucking insane when anyone that speaks to you is literally hunted down. In regards to YouTube, I'll be making YouTube videos at my own pace, and if you want to tweet me, it's Natasrio. If you want to send a death threat to me, you can do that either here on YouTube or also on Natasrio or Twitter. Or maybe you could like find a screenshot and say, is this you? I have absolutely no plans on deviating from anything I've said in this video at any point, regardless of the reception, because all I can really say is what happened, and I've now done that for like the 18th fucking time. But yeah, like and subscribe for more fucking videos, yeah.
It's not hard to dismantle it, it's just annoying that I have to be the one to do it.